Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 2 of our GT Manager Let's Play. Yes, we return this time out here, once again in the GT4 Championship for the Chinese round. And we'll probably get another one done in this video as well. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live a couple of days ago, I would highly recommend going back and checking out. Obviously, we went through the opening couple of stages of this game. I'm having a lot of fun with it so far, and yeah, I want to try and do more and more videos of it. I feel like it complements having F1 Manager as well on the channel. FY, the Singapore Grand Prix will hopefully be going live tomorrow, and we should have a challenge video out as well on Sunday. But yeah, as we return though today, we'll try and take a look at the championship calendar. We've got Shanghai, in air quotes, and then Montreal this weekend, but we've also got a few other bits and pieces that we're going to be unlocking inside the team as well. But before we get into that, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody as well. At the time of recording this, we have just ticked over 3,000 subscribers here on the channel as well. So yeah, massive thank you to everybody for the continued support. You know, we branched out outside of, you know, the main F1 game in recent times, and it is nice to see you guys still enjoying us playing various other games as well then. But yeah, let's head then. I don't think there's anything we can really do before we head to this weekend's event. We've obviously got that research going on to the car as well, obviously on the spring side of things. I don't know if we can do anything else. We can research the brakes, and we'll try and go with a new steering rack as well. So spending plenty of money on developing new parts for the car as well. Then you can see, yeah, we've got the PI up to 215 as well, so hopefully that's going to make us a little bit more competitive as well. But yeah, we've got changeable conditions once again then. We are currently 3rd place overall in the standings after we took that win at Imola. But yeah, we got a win and P16, which wasn't so ideal. So hopefully, once again, this circuit, well, the changeable conditions can play into our hand. Here we are then, and you guys were telling me as well, these guys, they are real people. They are real people that race in these series. So yeah, we have got fully licensed in terms of that as well. Now, we need to try and make sure that we've got both of our quickest guys in the car ready for qualifying. So we are going to leave Florian in, but we're going to put Max into the second car as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he's going to get on as we head into the first qualifying of the day. Of course, you've got that snail section reminiscent of the Shanghai circuit. I've upped the graphics as well for this one. We're now running ultra graphics inside the game. And we end up last and second to last, which is not great. Considering we've got the best car on the grid, that's slightly alarming. But yeah, as we head into the race, though, hopefully the changeable weather is going to play to us and we can try and gain a bit of time. Taking a look then as to, well, we don't know when that weather's going to arrive, so I'm going to try and put full fuel in the car. I'm also going to make sure that both of our dry weather specialists are in the car first of all. So yeah, we're going to put Vinny into the car to begin with. We're going to leave him on the mediums, but we're going to put Max on the soft compounded tyre. Just because, like I said, you know, we might have to stretch that stint a little bit further if required as well. But making our way then out of the pit lane for the start of this race. So I'm looking forward to this. Hopefully, once again, our Celine can prove itself as a strong and worthy competitor, as once again JSB find themselves on the front row of the grid. Let's do this thing though. It's time for 15 laps here in China as those 5 red lights will come on. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go then. Immediately we'll see Max probably get the better start of the two of them as we make our way down in towards turn 1. Obviously, yeah, don't really want both of our drivers to trip over each other too much early on in this race, but like I said, you know, all eyes are going to be on the weather there, as there we go, threading his way through those first couple of corners. We'll try and use a couple of those pushes with Max early on, try to carve his way through some of these harder compound runners as well. See, we've got a pretty even split between softs and the mediums, so no one really knows what the strategy is going to do today. As you can see, Vinny in the other car as well then, gaining a couple of places as well, so we've had a pretty tidy start to this race with both of the drivers. Of course, managing the temperatures and everything like that is also going to be very, very critical, as we'll give Vinny a bit of a boost as he makes his way down the back straight. Of course, we know this monster straight here in Shanghai, and I tell you what, those blossom trees look absolutely beautiful as well there. So trying to thread the needle with Max then in towards that final corner of lap 1. He is going to move his way up the order fairly nicely there into P11. But again, we have obviously just got to... I don't want to use too much fuel or do too much with that either. We just really want to try and manage everything early on in this race. Of course, we might get a little bit screwed over later on if obviously if the half tank is going to be enough to get to that wet period anyway. But yeah, we are just going to obviously try and make sure that we use a little bit of fuel, but manage both of the cars as well there. So we'll just try and get them both pushing a little bit. Try and put a bit more, take some of that fuel out of the wagon. And hopefully, yeah, we'll just try and manage to make sure, obviously, that we don't over-push either there. As you can see, getting the run again down that back straight. As, yeah, both drivers instantly just starting to overheat the engine. So we'll just cool those back down. You can see it does move around very, very quick. Sorry, that's the oil, isn't it? Sorry. That obviously will move around a whole lot quicker than the other engine temps will. I mean, to be fair to him, Vinny is now up into P12 as well. So he's made his way through some of the cars. We just apparently are not very good at qualifying still in this game. So maybe down the line, I need to hire some faster drivers there. As Max now trying to slice and dice his way through a little bit further on. But yeah, when is that rain going to arrive? Track temperature apparently very, very low. Just 3 degrees at the moment. So, and there we go. The rain is here. So how quickly then will we see a switch to the wet tyres? Annoyingly, I don't think we're going to make it on fuel. So we will still need to top up both cars. But hopefully that won't cost us too much. As we're going to take the gamble with Max then. We're going to pit him in at the end of this lap and take a set of those wet tyres. We're also going to opt for a little splash of fuel. And we will go for the driver swap as well. So Stephen will be coming into the car. And there we go. He might end up being one of the first drivers into the pit lane here. It's a shame we kind of don't get much data in that regard. But we are going to be one of the first cars into the pit lane. And we're just as well going to try and tone things back with Vinny there. Because that engine temperature is creeping up a little bit more than we would want. As hopefully this is going to be a fairly clean, tidy pit stop. There we go. They don't even look at each other. Max and Stephen, they might share a car, but they are clearly not mates then. And as we make our way then out of the pit lane, looks like we've got a few more that have opted to dive in as well. So we'll do the same thing with Vinny on this next lap as well and bring Florian back into the car. We'll put an extra half a tank worth of fuel in as well. And we'll just try and get him to push on then. So is that gap coming down at the front of the order? He's coming down in quite a big way, actually. So this is working out really, really nicely for Steven as well then. As we're going to try and get him to push on and really try to work to get that undercut. We might actually end up trying to use all of his push modes on this lap. Because this could work out fantastically as everybody's struggling at the front of the order there. You can see a little bit of movement there as well. We almost run into the back of one of those Audis as well down the back straight. I'm going to go for one more as well then. All of his push mode has been used on this one lap then. But can he have a look down the inside? Yes, he can. And already then he's gained most of those places that we would have lost by staying out there. It's Florian into the pit lane. Or, sorry, Vinny into the pit lane to bring Florian into the car as well. This is looking very, very interesting. And we've still got one of... Oh, no, there we go. JSB have opted to pit. And now Stephen, he's out of the front of the order. How on earth man is that? He's got a huge jump on everybody then. So now we just got to try and manage things to the end of the afternoon. As Florian in the other car will come back out in P10. So that's worked out pretty nicely then for both drivers here. I've just got to try and manage throughout the second half of this race. As we'll try and again use most of those push moves with the second car as well quite quickly. But I tell you what, we seem to have the pace over those top teams as well. So you can just see that gap at the front opening out just a little bit here. So we might be pretty safe then with Steven at the moment. His tyres aren't looking particularly great, so we might actually end up seeing another pit stop then before the end of the afternoon. So yeah, that could be interesting when it comes to strategy there, because he is definitely shredding that rubber. Could we see Florian get to the end of the race on just this single set of tyres? He's got... I don't think he will. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be worth it for either of them there. So yeah, we are going to see a push towards the end of the race as well. It's now up into P7 then of this race we're going to move. So we're making good progress at the moment. But again, we might see other drivers not up to pit before the end of this race. But now both drivers out in a bit of free space. Oh, we've got a yellow flag. Okay. So Porsche Motorsport then have had an incident here. Don't know what's happened. But that is going to allow us then a bit of a cheap pit stop. And we'll bring him on to a set of the wets again. And hopefully, yeah, we'll be able to go to the end of the race from there. I think we've got to try and do the same as well with Florian. Just because otherwise we're going to lose out too much time in the processes. Here we go, Steven into the pit lane. Is he going to come out? He's going to come out still, I believe, in P2 then. But yeah, again, that leader, he's not going to be able to, you know, keep those tyres on the wagon right to the end of the afternoon. So that works out really, really nicely. There's Florian in the other car as well. He's taking a bit of life out of those tyres over that lap. And it is going to be green flag racing once again. So we will have lost out a little bit, but not as badly as we might have expected him to, as now we've got an extra push as well with Steven. So as we make our way down the back straight, we've got fresher tyres than the other driver. And we are back into the lead then of this race. We can only hope that the car that had issues was one of those JSB cars. Because hopefully then, yeah, we'll take some points out of them in the championship here. But as we cross over half distance then of this race, still got plenty of fuel in the car. That should be safely through to the end of the afternoon. And hopefully, yeah, we'll just be able to manage those temperatures as well with both drivers here. But yeah, Florian, they're just saying both drivers struggling again with the tyres. So we're going to tone them back a little bit. And hopefully, yeah, they'll be able to keep everything cool, calm, and collected here. These wet tyres really don't go that well. You know, they do not last long inside this game. There's actually people opting for softs again. So we've seen a switch back the other way, which is very, very interesting. And we probably should actually... We'll bring him in. We'll go soft compound tyres. But Max's speed is a little bit better. So this has actually ended up being quite a crazy race here. So we'll try and just push on with Florian in the other car. We're going to do the same strategy then. So Vinny will go back in. But yeah, this has ended up being a really, really crazy race here. As those soft compound tyres definitely working again. So I wasn't expecting the track to dry out as quickly as it has. But speeding up then, yeah, you can see Max is going to come out of the pit lane, I believe, still in the lead of the race, which he will. As Florian then making his way in as well. He's actually right up towards the front of the order here. So this is working really, really nicely at the moment. As we'll get both cars back out of the pit lane. And yeah, now they should be able to safely go to the end of the afternoon. Soft compound tyres on both cars. And with just 4 laps to go then of this race. I mean, Max Bird at the front, he's got a big, big lead over everybody else. So he can afford to push on just a little bit more if he wants to. But are we about to get back-to-back wins then in this game? We've got an 8-second lead over the cars behind. You can just see, yeah, we're just taking a bit too much out of that rubber once again. So we'll tone it back down towards the end of the afternoon. But this is looking very, very comfortable at the front of the order here as we just simulate our way through. We've got a 10-second lead now over P2. Because he might have to pit again before this race comes to an end. We're about to lap someone in this race. So from the back of the field... We have played the strategy absolutely fantastically here, and it is really, really working out well for us. There's one more lap to go then. Tyres just now starting to reach the limit there, but they should be safe to the end, as we've pretty much managed both the fuel and the tyres to perfection here. Vinny as well looking very, very comfortable on that second step. But with a 15-second lead at the front of the order, we have opened out the gap towards the end of the race there. Max Bird through the final couple of corners. It is going to be victory here in China, and the second win of the season for the team as well. Vinny in the other car through the final couple of corners. We're just going to try and get him to push on, take everything he possibly can out of it, but I don't think we're going to get anything more from this race. P1 and P4, though, for the first race of the day. We will absolutely take that there, and a fantastic result for both cars in the team. That should hopefully do us wonders in the championship points as well. And there we go then, 212 Motorsport. First and fourth, they're ahead of Mahiki Racing and Audi Sport joining us on the podium. But 3 and 4 stop strategies coming in by various teams there. And JSB had an absolute nightmare finishing a lap down come the end of the afternoon. What's that going to do for the standings there? Well, we gain a fair bit of cash as well. But I believe that might chuck us to the top of the table as a team then. As there we go, you can see we actually made a profit for the first time ever inside this game. Let's just take a look at the championship standings then at the moment. There we go. A comfortable 32-point lead at the top of the table as Porsche jumped JSB as well there. How are the other standings looking? It is only a team's championship, I think, so don't need to worry too much there. about the driver's results as well. But yeah, we've got a few other bits and pieces we need to do, though. We can build the driver's building, which is going to set us back a fair amount of cash as well. We've got $645,000 in the back pocket. And now you can see we can start getting engineers as well into the team. So Raikkonen Kona is going to allow both drivers to get a bit of a speed stat as well there. And you can see, I think we'll actually use it on the second car because he seems to be the one that's, you know, picking up all the points and everything like that. So we are playing the #1 role now within the team, ready for the second half of the year. But can we do anything else in terms of the car? I don't think we can. As, yeah, obviously we've got those upgrades on the car at the moment. Could we buy another car to potentially move up to GT3 at some point in the future? How much are those cars to really... We can't even purchase them, can we? Which is a little bit odd, so I don't know. I'm guessing we obviously need to try and win this championship before we can do that. But yeah, let's head then into the second race of the video. We'll head over to Montreal in Canada, and hopefully we can try and bag another win. But once again, looks like changeable conditions are going to affect things here in Montreal. But yeah, we'll opt for a set of softs and a half tank of fuel as well then on both cars. Are we going to be able to try and get ourselves off the back row of the grid? It seems like we got no pace in qualifying with either car here. And again, maybe if we're just tucked into the slipstream of each other, it's probably not the ideal way of going about things either. We do get ahead of one of the Corvettes, but that is about all we can write home about from that one. So again, pretty disappointing. But let's head then into the race. Again, we've got thunderstorms predicted very, very soon. So I think we're going to take the gamble. We'll opt for the full fuel on the other car there in mediums. We'll just split our strategies a little bit. And we'll put Max back into the car as well there. And Vinny. So, yeah, let's do this thing then. Hopefully we can try and get another clean start to these races. I do like these opening little cinematics as well. They do look very, very cool inside this game. But here we are then in Montreal. Once more, JSB on the pole. They have got an absolutely rapid driver ready to start these ones. But Porsche now seem to be our biggest threat in terms of the championship. We are not qualifiers, though, at 212 Motorsport. We are racers. As those 5 red lights will come on once again. And it is going to be lights out. And away we go then. Max there. Hopefully we'll try and make some moves in towards that first corner. And hopefully, yeah, we'll try and use it instantly. We'll go with a boost on Vinny's car as well. Just see if we can move our way up through just a little bit off the start. Not able to really find anything, though, through those first couple of corners. And you just see, yeah, with Max in the other car, though, we are going to take things nice and simple. Just try and stay out of trouble early on, as inside this game, Montreal is a much, much longer circuit than it seems to be in Formula 1. And yeah, Max, you can just see at the back of the order, just dropping away a little bit. We're kind of hoping that rain doesn't arrive for quite a while into this race there. And again, we'll try and use another push with Vinny here, because, you know, trying to make our way up through the order nice and early on is super important. There is instantly, he's up at a P10 then by the end of lap 1. So we've gained a few places then. He is pushing, though, rather aggressively, as you can just see everybody around him trying to work those tyres quite hard early on. Obviously, it is quite funny how we kind of just see a split between the mediums and the soft compound tyres very, very quickly here inside this game. But yeah, we've got to obviously try and save just a little bit there, as the fuel won't last forever on Vinny's car either, but we're going to be pretty even between those tyres and the fuel as well. So tyres, they reckon, are only going to last 3 laps, so we'll just try and tone it back a little bit more. There is Vinny again at that final corner. He's going to make a couple more spots. But yeah, the push mode definitely makes a lot of difference, though, inside this game when it comes to tyre life as well, as you can already see then, making his way down in towards the final chicane of lap 3. We have gained a lot of places then early on. And are we going to start seeing cars into the pit lane fairly soon? I think it's going to be a couple more laps. But we kind of just want to see when the rain's going to arrive. Although we could try and go for the undercut with Vinny in this car as well then. I think that's what we might have to try and do pretty soon here. As there we go, rain has now arrived. So we will box Max into the pit lane then onto those wet tyres. Put Steven in the car. And he will be coming into the pit lane then next lap. So we're going to have to do the same as well with Vinny here. And we will opt for a full tank of fuel going onto that car. So he will definitely make it to the end of the GP there. As where is Max, sorry, even. So he's down in P11 then. So we are just going to have to use a little bit of push mode as well on this lap there. But everybody's starting to struggle a little bit as we've got a few drivers already that kind of timed that switch to the wets absolutely perfectly there. One of the, I think it's Mahiti, isn't it? One of their cars nailing that strategy. So as we're going to make our way then back out of the pit lane here, out in P15. You can see Steven is a long way back there. No, he's not. He's in P... He's way up the order. He's P7 and P5. I don't know why it was telling us like P15 at the moment as well. So we're just trying to use a little bit of push again, just to try and build up a bit of a gap to those cars behind. But yeah, this time around though, the strategy's definitely worked out well for Florian. And we might still be a bit tight for fuel by the end of the race as well. It is just meant to stay like this, I believe, to the end of the afternoon. But we are just going to have to manage the tyre temperature as well there. As you can see on that other car, Florian trying to move his way up through the order. So we're going to try and see if we can get him up into that P2 position. As, oh, we've got guys back into the pit lane again then. So not too sure why we're seeing a double pit stop then very, very early on. Tyres might not make it to the end of this race, but it is going to be close. So I think that's what we've got to try and do with Florian here, is just make sure that he's in a good position to get right the way through to the end of the race there. Because, you know, those tyres 76% after a couple of laps, they are going to be quite close for life towards the end of this race there. And we'll wait and see how much do they go down by on this lap. It's going to be about just under 10%. So if we leave him on kind of that mode, he will get to the end. We might have to opt for another pit stop then with Steven in the other car there. Yeah, Florian now to the front of the order. It's looking pretty racy at this stage of the day. Again, we'll just try and push on, build up a little bit of a gap. We might try and do, I think with Steven though, he's going to have to pit again anyway, because I'm not sure we'll get to the end on the fuel. So we'll opt for that. We'll bring him in at the end of this one, just to make sure he gets a fairly clean, tidy pit stop. And hopefully he isn't going to be in too much traffic either. There we go, a few more cars into the pit lane. And there we go. So reliability now stabilised once again. He'll have 2 more push modes to use in the second half of this race. But I think, yeah, all eyes are going to be on Florian at the front of the order here. As Steven, you can just see, trying to find his way through. Back into P8 he'll go then of this one. And again, just put, you know, try and manage that usage as well. As well, you can just, he's actually overworking that car as well a little bit. It's the rain. The rain isn't really dying off at the moment. So you can just see, even when he's trying to save it, it's not looking that great for him there. As Florian in the other car, those tyres are definitely starting to go off as well. But now, yeah, Steven's able to get that car working again in the window that he's happy with. And we should be able to keep that going right the way to the end of the race. Less than 2 laps to go, though. Florian is feeling the pressure there, and he's got one of the other drivers as well, one of the JSB cars, all over his gearbox. Are we going to see JSB into the pit lane there with 1 lap to go? No, we're not. So it is going to be a bit nip and tuck between the 2 cars towards the end of this one. We've got plenty of fuel left, but 1 more lap to go. This time around, once again, it is going to be Florian at the front of the order. So strategy does seem to be very, very mixed up inside this game as well at the moment. But hopefully we're going to be able to just hang on to the car, hang on with those tyres right towards the end of this one. As yeah, the tyres really, really starting to fall off. As JSB now, I think he's going to try and look for it in towards the final couple of corners of this race. Side by side, down in towards the final chicane here. Who is going to come out on top? I think JSB are just going to pip us. It's going to be a drag race to the line. But JSB have done enough. It is P2 in the end here in Montreal. Steven in the other car, though, as well. He's going to come through the final chicane there, all the way down in P7. So a little bit of a disappointing end. But yeah, we're bagging good results for the team. But it does seem like there's a little bit of kind of hit or miss as to which car is going to take the win there. But JSB win the second race of the day there. Fantastic effort by them. And yeah, the one-stop strategy was definitely the way to go there. 1/4 of a second in it come the checkered flag. But I guess as a team, we do pick up some good points as well there, as the other JSB car set to struggle. 2nd and 7th in the second race of the day. We pick up some decent cash as well. And what is that going to do then in terms of our earnings? We actually lost a little bit of money there as well. $6,000 in the red. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like. Get yourself subscribed. You can see we've still got a 40-point buffer at the top of the table. I might start doing 3 races in a video for the final few rounds of the season as well. Of course, we're just going to be playing this game alongside F1 Manager as well. But yeah, that's going to do us for this one, and we'll be back very soon as we head to the US I think that track's meant to be Laguna Seca.